What's up? What's up, family? How y'all doing? Hopefully, everybody is well today. Um, it's another impromptu. I told y'all I'll be doing these sporadically. I'm going to talk about this next week as well with my guest, Sister Jade, is coming on as my guest next Thursday at 8 p.m. So make sure y'all tune in for that. But I'm not going to be here long tonight. Just wanted to share some reflections on Obama, his his throwing black people under the bus once again. Apparently, he certainly has been in the news a lot lately because he is advertising a book. He's selling a book, but he's also campaigning. He campaigned for Joe Biden, and he's also campaigning for the the Senate candidates in Georgia. But just came on real quick because I wanted to share some reflections, and it was actually inspired by a conversation I was having with my own family. Have a back and forth with some cousins of mine who, are unapologetically pro, Obama. I have been critical of President Obama since his towards the end of his actually starting almost from the beginning of his first term as president. I actually did not vote for him the second time because, you know, his whole hope and change was marketing and a facade. When kind of drilled down and looked at none of the things, particularly for, I would say, poor and working people, particularly improved. And in some cases, particularly for Black people, you can argue that things actually, you know, actually declined. And I'll give you an example. Hopefully, I can pull this up. But there was an article created, I want to say, let me just pull it up. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm going to try to share my screen. It's my first time sharing my screen. So I'm going to try to share my screen to show you a couple of these articles that kind of looked at Obama's presidency in terms of allowing the Wall Street gangsters and criminals to basically get away with tanking the economy. So let me see how to share my screen. I have the article pulled up here. Lord have mercy. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to. Let's see. I don't know if you guys are able to see this. Hopefully, you can put it in the chat. But here's an article. I guess this is Jacobin magazine. Looks like it came out in December of 2017. And it's a pretty in-depth article. I'm not going to, read it all, but kind of wanted to share, my own feedback, sort of. There has been, people writing about this, about the fact that, you hear a lot of people saying, a lot of the Black middle class people and others who just love Obama and love just the idea of Obama, continue to say or make excuses for him. But in terms of Black wealth and the housing crisis, that the predatory lending and all those things that happened, in 2007, 2008, obviously he was elected in 2008. He took over the Justice Department, appointed a Department of Justice secretary. And so he did not prosecute Bank of America. He did not prosecute any of these robber barons, and letting off the crooks. And I just want to say that there are people to this day that have never recovered from this. Black wealth destroyed. You can simply Google this article, read it for yourself. And the reason why I bring this up is because I've been, looking at things from an economic lens for a very long time. And I started off doing that because of the work that I was doing back in Ohio, working with working class and poor Black folks. And I saw how the local Democratic Party, handled our community in terms of the austerity measures and all of the, gentrification and closing of hospitals, literally taking away, things that people need to create a healthy living situation for themselves. And so I wanted to share that article, and I hope you all were able to see it. Again, you can certainly Google it and read it all for yourself. But I wanted to provide some evidence besides my own words and lived experience that certainly Obama, to some of us, is not necessarily a hero. And so I'm just bringing that up in the context of his reemergence in the last several months, right? Because he, I guess, from a media perspective, has been very quiet the entire Trump presidency. It's almost like he's got harsher words for grassroots Black folks who are organizers than he does for white supremacists in the White House. That's my analysis, right? Concerned about controlling the anger because of white supremacist officers who, kill us at will. And, that's something. And so for me, I think that was the biggest issue, him focusing on the so-called slogan, as he called it, him focusing on the slogan versus focusing on what precipitated and caused the slogan. And so that to me, I think, is a little bit of dishonesty on his part. And so, I think it's par for the course in terms of how he governed in both of his terms and sort of the respectability, kind of things that he has. I was sharing with my cousin the other day. I said, for me personally, I don't think I've ever really forgiven him after he publicly denounced his own pastor who married him and his wife, and he attended the church for years. Dr. Reverend Jeremiah Wright. I actually had an opportunity to meet Jeremiah Wright after President Obama denounced him. And of course, his speech that was made, or his preaching sermon that was made public by Fox News and other right-wing provocateurs who played it over and over and over and over again to elicit a response from the president that they got. And it was the right wing who got him to denounce this pastor who had been not just his pastor, but a mentor, married him and his wife. And he did that. And I just lost respect. I was just like, wow, wow. So, and the way that he governed, right? I think it's par for the course. And so, I think I've had, people on both sides of the fence, most people that I know, that I actually are in my circle are pretty critical of him. People who have an analysis that's just critical of imperialism and colonialism writ large. And then, of course, you have people who are just like, well, that's just how it is kind of thing. And he was the first Black president and they didn't let him do nothing and just all these excuses. And now we got Trump in there right after him. And shit, he ran the White House like a gangster for real. I mean, he did just about everything he wanted to do. If he didn't get his way in Congress, we saw that he went the executive, order route. So I thought back to all those years that people were saying, well, Obama couldn't do this and that. He can't do anything. He can't do anything. And I'm just like, well, how the hell is how the hell is Trump in here doing all this stuff? you know? So, like I said, I didn't want to be on here long. I just wanted to offer, my own thoughts in terms of the way the president or former President Obama is coming out of the woodwork to basically blame Black activists who have been in the streets for months. Demanding racial justice and saying defund the police. I need to go on record that I support that, and I actually support defunding these criminals, because that's what they are, right? Anytime you can kill somebody, right, and get away with it legally, that's still criminal behavior, even though the law, gives you an excuse to kill people and doesn't punish you for it. So I'm certainly on board with defunding the police insofar as police budgets. If you look at a lot of cities, and I'll share really quickly before I get off, my brother-in-law lives in Austin, Texas, and there was a huge showdown, if you will, between the community and the city council and the police. And the city council was actually quietly very thankful that the community stood up and said, enough is enough, right? The police budget had ballooned in Austin, right? And there was this first time, kind of like in history, where the city council had cover, if you will, to actually push back on the police, asking for more and more and more, and say no. And my brother-in-law received death threats and all kinds of things when he was a part of that activism. So it's very real that police budgets are breaking cities in a lot of places. It doesn't get talked about because it's not, politically correct, even if you're a Democrat, because most cities are ran by Democrats. It's just not politically correct for them to say, damn, we're spending upwards of 40-50% of the whole city's budget on cops. So I just want people to know that there's always a reason that people say defund the police. They need to be defunded because it costs too much. It's too much. So thanks, Brother Damien. Yeah, definitely. He's always throwing us under the bus. I don't know if you got a chance to see the article that I shared earlier, but I will actually go ahead and just post a link here in the comments for people if you came in later. I actually shared my screen so that people could see that I wasn't just talking out the side of my neck, that this has actually been reported on. Let me know if you all can see that. I screen shared that, but anyway, there's a link to it so you can read the full article for yourself. So anyway, that's it for this impromptu discussion tonight. It wasn't planned, but I was just like, I gotta address this daggone Obama thing. I keep seeing stuff in my Facebook feed, and I'm just like, let me get on and share, kind of my thoughts and, how I experienced Obama when he was in office. And I actually did not vote for him the second time. I voted for the Green Party in Ohio, right, which is considered a battleground state. Well, it used to be a battleground state, at least when he was running. He actually won Ohio both times. So even without my vote, he won Ohio. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Hopefully y'all will catch us next Thursday at 8 o'clock. I'll probably get back on here in between now and then for another impromptu, depending on what happens. Some current events might pop up and I need to get on and just share my own thoughts. But please if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, and please share it out. Thanks, everybody. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.